25. You know, that's the most it's gonna get. Everybody gets it.
I don't know.
You okay, Robert?
40%.
Okay, sir. How about you?
Doing all right. Am I the only one on it right now?
Let me get out the participant. Okay, think I got everybody on it.
Michael's still not there, and the judge. Hello.
I see Sylvia. Hello, Sylvia.
It's like, you know, it's good to experiment with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Technology. You gotta change it.
So just
I know Michael's been going forward with it.
Yeah, they say we're pretty good. It's the future.
You have to bear with me at this moment because we're experiencing bandwidth congestion because everybody's on at the same time, you know. And so right now I have to use the YouTube Live as the main source of recording. But I'm still going to record this meeting on Zoom as well. Go. This is a.
No, hombre, está bueno.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
Hay que trabajar,
No,
no.
way, you can sign off now.
No, y
No, sign out.
Dile no, y venga a trabajar.
Sylvia, you can sign off, girl.
I let you as the participant.
Ay, dile no, que venga a firmar el cheque.
Everything we're saying, I'm just kidding, guys. It's off the record. No, see how it works, I think. It should work okay.
Robert, you want me to mute?
I hope it's not forever, you know. It don't seem like a commissioner's court meeting without having to do that with the public and stuff.
Is everybody gonna be here? Commissioners or no?
That's it.
All the commissioners gonna be here?
This one was
We're gonna be spaced.
given to me by
Okay.
It's gonna be arm's length.
Okay. Michael.
yes.
Okay, there's so much too much bandwidth congestion. I have to limit down to one phone out there in the courtroom, so everybody should be able to hear the commissioners talking. Okay. For the outside, they could be able to hear. So let's make sure that everybody can. Okay.
Yeah, but when you log in, the person who's hosting has to let them in. Even if you have the password, wait for them.
It's gonna be on the screen también, Robert.
You put it in.
It's gonna be on the screen también.
I'm hard to hear.
If it's gonna be on the screen, no?
Is it gonna
Oh, there's another one.
Oh,
The video? What are we doing? I understand.
he wanted to know if that's gonna be on the screen, but no, right?
Yeah, you keep on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be separate because
Okay.
we have an issue with the bandwidth issue.
I left the hours at home.
Okay, you record whatever you want to do. Yeah, feel free to do whatever. We can't stop you. So.
It's going.
It's going?
Always working.
It's gonna be a lot of people from there.
So the judge coming in.
Okay. Are you gonna mute everybody?
Huh?
Are you gonna mute them?
Well, You have to tell them that you all have to remain quiet, listed. If you want to talk, just raise your hand. Like you have to raise your hand, like single. Like,
You're gonna hear the feedback.
the feedback.
Yes.
We can hear.
Well,
You can hear this guy's over here and this over here.
Yeah.
well, I could turn down the speaker. Well, we need the speaker on.
Robert.
Oh, you know.
Not gonna worry about it. You have to turn this off.
Why? That's not that. It's, you're gonna have it either way. Look, I'm gonna turn it off. No, still there.
Okay.
It's not the mics, it's everybody together. This is it's made to be in
Different areas, and not here.
not all together. That's what I'm saying. You need to mute them.
But a judge would have to be able to hear the speaker of the phone because not everybody has a computer or you know what I mean.
Do you have an agenda? An agenda?
I enjoyed your job. Thank you.
Mine dice, please wait, meeting host will let you in soon.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
I'm just letting him in. No, we're not gonna do that because there's too much bandwidth. Yeah, there's too much bandwidth. So which was Michael? Okay, you got him in? Okay. There's too much bandwidth, that's a problem with that.
Robert, are you seeing my? Okay, good.
Okay, let me make sure you're on. It's just supposed to stay on. Joe, can you see everybody on it?
I can see you.
Okay.
It says,
Okay, well,
calling
let's get him out. Let's get him on.
Cancel them off.
Let's move on.
Do I sign it in? Or-
This thing keeps getting more and more complicated. Because all the noise is disconnected all the way. Be consistent with all the region.
Basically, it doesn't change anything.
Just completely disconnect them from the meeting?
For what?
Just Commissioner Ford?
I'm gonna read one portion of the stay at home and come to the meeting and not tell them.
Can we help it?
Don't bother.
You get everybody in?
You told me to disconnect precinct 4, right?
Pink or something. No, I'll just leave it alone. If it's fine, whatever, it's fine. Okay.
This camera here,
Did the city have a emergency meeting yesterday?
Yes.
they had a meeting.
And then they're having a press conference after you guys.
What?
They're having a press conference when you finish. Yes.
Well, they're, I'm going over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
restate what we did here, so y'all want to go.
Okay, you need to go either.
Actually,
Yeah.
What they're doing is going, this one here takes them in. It's right amount, so
Yeah.
We'll,
incorporated, incorporated.
What I'm gonna do is go restate what we're doing here at City Hall there, right in there. 10 o'clock.
So, am I supposed to be?
Robert, this meeting over here, I just got a splash screen over here since it's old. I don't wanna complicate things, but it's okay. We're gonna yeah, let's proceed, okay? If we could please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Good morning, everyone. Agenda item number 3, public testimony. Any person may appear before the court at this time.
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
My thing is the courthouse, Judge. There's been people coming in with some coughs, you know, and the flu is, you know, and the officers out there are our first line of defense.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying for the general of our thing, if we can, you know, not let people in that are sick,
Right.
you know, I mean, it's the safety of our guys, of our employees. I have a temperature thing that I have, should be coming in Monday. It's a non-invasive, you know, you just the way the Corpus Nueces County's doing.
Yes.
The courthouse, that's the same thing, I had ordered one that's coming in Monday. If we can be approved to use it, you know, by the courthouse.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anybody, any other person that would like to come before the court at this time? That's not on the agenda? Good morning, Mayor. Okay, agenda item number 4, consider approving minutes from previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second, Judge. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? Item passes. Agenda item number 5, discuss and take action on the mailing system proposal from Pitney Bowes, Texas Office Systems. I'm not sure if they showed up today. We're gonna have to table that item. Yeah.
We don't have information on it?
Well, the gentleman was supposed to make a presentation on it. It's an upgrade on the current system we have for the mail. And it's to save some money, but you can show.
We have an attachment.
Is there an attachment, Jason? Yeah.
There is an attachment, but
I think it's not, it's just pretty much,
the salesman, the representative wanted to make a presentation to us so we can ask some questions.
so make a motion to take.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Table, item is tabled. agenda item number 6, discuss and consider adding the Jimos County Personnel Policy Manual. Do you have?
Mr. Sosa was
Sosa,
supposed to.
he left.
He's right there, Mr. Sosa's right there.
He's right there.
Mr. Sosa.
Let's call him in, see what his
Judge,
suggestion.
I've got the in, what do you wanna do?
Yeah, have him come in. Sosa, yeah.
Alright.
Mr. Sosa, you're up for agenda item number 6, correct?
Yes, sir.
You wanted
6
to-
and 7.
Okay.
Not yet, 3 minutes.
All right.
Okay, good morning, Judge and Commissioners again. The item number 6 was on a personal policy manual. Nowhere does it says we're on the honor system for county employees that have to report any citations on their driver's license. And I'm saying if we can add on there to each section, do a driver's background check on employees hired, because we had an incident on January the 16th. The employee that was driving struck somebody and hit some personal property, and he did not have a driver's license. So I'm doing, for legal reasons, I would see if y'all would consider, moving forward is doing background checks.
The employee didn't have an official current driver's license, or he didn't have it with him
No, he did not have a license at all.
at all?
At all.
Part of the application.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Commissioner, is, I don't wanna lose my job, so I'm not gonna report to you that I lost my license.
I know you're doing your duties, it just seems to me that background checks is a good thing, don't get me wrong, yeah. I think it's up to each elected official
Yes.
to decide on their own, on their own offices.
It's not a background on your life, it's just a driver's license check.
Well, normally what we do is we keep, we check up on their licenses throughout the year.
That's
We have
what,
them bring their license in to
Yeah.
verify that they have a license, driver's license available.
Me as a safety, as
Mr. Soler, maybe you can write something up that would,
Have you
an
written
amendment
something?
to where we
No, this
check
is
our
just
driver's
asking.
license every 6 months or something like that, maybe we can come up with something like that.
That would be a good suggestion.
Yeah, I think it's important that we know where they stand with their license, because it puts us in liability.
If it would've been a private citizen, they would've been struck, we would've been in real trouble.
Well, that suggestion, we'll take it up, we'll look at the manual and see if we can upgrade it, modify it. and
It's
get
in the
some
personal, in the green book we have.
Yeah, you put something in writing and bring it back.
Yes, sir, I will do that.
Okay, Mr. Sosa, thank you for that, suggestion here. Then move on to agenda item number 7.
So, do we table it, or do we say that we want, the safety officer, Roel Sosa, to write up something for the manual and bring it back to the
Yeah,
commission?
we can take it.
I mean,
Just table it.
Before we approve it, that way you can have a chance to work on the modification. and
Yes,
additions.
yes, sir.
And then we'll come back and we'll consider that. Take
Sounds
action.
good, sir, Judge.
All right.
I make a motion to table it.
Okay, I have a motion, second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes.
No, Carlos.
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 Martin.
Agenda item number 7.
On item number 7, we have
Amend the
a
current
safety.
St. County Employee Safety Handbook approved. And now we're going to 8, correct?
Number 7.
7.
Number 7.
Oh, it's similar to the same
We
thing.
were on 6.
Okay, amend the current Jim Wells County Safety or Employee Safety Handbook approved on 8/13/2001.
Yes, Judge and Commissioners, we got a safety manual dated 2001. It was approved by all the commissioners. It never got implemented. And according to our personal policy manual, it says to follow all directions from the Employee Safety Handbook. Well, there's not been one, and I found a whole bunch of anyways, the books are out now. They've been implemented to all the employees, and they're all doing them. But they're kind of outdated a little bit, so the first one would be to, y'all have a copy of this here. The first one would be to implement adding, to do us morning safety meetings and conduct a fit for duty. A fit for duty is just to ensure that an employee's not coming hurt from the house. And he's gonna blame it on, and then we're gonna put it on workers' comp, or make sure that they're sober, or just a fit for duty.
Right.
They have the proper PPE. Anyways, the morning safety meetings, I believe they're working good now, but it's not saying anywhere that we're supposed to have one. All it's doing is just informing that there's no misunderstanding of the job, that everything's gonna get done, as per we spoke, And the second item on there would be to, the employee's responsibility is, prior to commencing a job, they need to do a hazard assessment. That's one of the biggest things is, they'll leave the location, they'll leave the precinct, they'll go to the job, and the scope of the work might have changed. So they're just gonna keep going at it, and then, incidents happen. So it's just adding a hazard assessment. And, the other one, number 3, is, it's very vague, because what it says on the book, it says shoes or boots of a suitable type to work to be done in the work area. It doesn't say anything, so, as per ANSI, which is our safety council for the US, we're supposed to have a safety boot or a safety shoe,
Okay, Mr. Sosa, I think what we can do is we can have a meeting, sit down, so we can go over all these line items. That way we can all come together at a workshop, and then all these suggestions, you can probably put them out there. This is probably, we can go on and on forever, but we can have a meeting, once you set something up, and all the department heads, we can get together and we can
Email us
discuss this.
something. that
But I
we have
appreciate you
any-
highlighting it and
Any
bringing it.
comments, we can give them to you.
Yes,
And then also, it's very important to keep up with, Texas Association of Counties,
yes, sir.
to make sure that we're certified, to their standards. That really helps our workers', insurance, workers' comp. So we keeping good communication with tech.
I have been keeping in contact with them at least once a week. I talk to them.
That's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
So we'll do that, set something up, a workshop or something, and we can go over and review
Yes, sir.
But these items that he mentioned already, can we go ahead and put them in place? Can we add them to the handbook?
Well, if he sends us a email or whatever, we can review them.
They're all
And then-
on the,
Yeah, I know, but,
But let's just be clear, let's
take
just
our
cut it
time.
right here,
We
right
might
now,
have suggestions,
and we'll have a workshop, we'll get together, give everybody an opportunity, all commissioners, department heads, to make their additions or their modifications. That way we can look at it and do it in a proper, in a consistent manner, that way we can do it, we don't just throw things out right now like that all over the place. But these are great suggestions, and I appreciate that very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Okay.
you're
Anybody
moving-
else?
You're moving forward, that's the main thing.
Yes, and you're on it, and I appreciate that because you've been having these safety meetings with this, crew members, and you already, I'm getting feedback that they're already, these responses and what that I'm getting are actually positive
Very
ones,
positive.
in a positive direction. So we just need to bring everybody on and make sure that everybody's understanding and everybody's on the same page, especially the department head, so that way they can implement and put those policies out there, or memos regarding licenses and safety issues and stuff.
I
And most
appreciate the
of
work
this
you're
is for the
doing, because
precinct,
I
right?
see it,
thank you, Commissioner.
and, moving forward, we'll get it all ironed out.
For sure.
Do we
Okay.
have those manuals?
All your, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
What's it look
He
like?
just handed them out.
No,
to
the
us.
book.
Oh, they get these when they get hired. You can have that copy.
That way I can just review.
The audit department has it. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners, thank
Mr.
you.
Sosa, thank you.
Thank you.
I think, orientations are being tabled to another day, or how's that working, like a new hire?
The new hires go straight to, downstairs to Sylvia, and she gives them the
So is
basic.
she waiving it for right now, or?
I haven't heard about that, but no, we need to continue doing the orientations. We can practice the 6 foot.
You might wanna get with her, cause yesterday I had a hard time with it, she said she wanted to waive it, so I don't know,
No, I believe we need to continue doing it, and I can go to y'all's, location, we can have it out there,
That'd be perfect.
Yes, sir, we will do it that
Maybe
way.
a safety meeting out there, you can probably.
Have the foreman give me a call, any commissioners, do y'all get new employees? And I'll do the new employee orientation out in the field, and we can practice our 6 foot distance, so,
That's even better.
That sounds good, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sosa, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Judge,
You wanna go ahead and table?
I believe it's item number 5, I believe. I've got the gentleman over here, if you wanna talk to him now later
The
on.
salesman for Pitney Bowes? Yeah, he can wait out there, we're gonna go over this and,
Sure.
have him stick around for a little while.
Did we make a motion to table?
I don't think so.
A motion to table.
Oh,
Yes.
We have a motion over here to table.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed, motion passes. Hey, Robert, is our audio working very well or not? I'm getting messages.
I'm sorry, sir?
Our audio,
Robert,
my
can you
audio,
lower this one back here?
it looks like we have a lot of feedback or a lot of.
Yeah, this one in this office here is rolled out. Can you lower it?
Oh, the phone was in? Nobody let me know, so I kinda hung it up already. This is unsophisticated, this is a little tricky here. We should just be able to speak into this and it should be able to pick it up, Robert. It's too complicated.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay.
So I hung that up because nobody told me anything.
I apologize, sir.
No, it's okay. You can figure it out. Is that good? That's all right. That's okay.
And so when the judge is talking, we don't see you on the screen.
And then my screen over here, Robert, too?
No, but-
Too many technical problems going on over here, but that's okay.
I think, because it's only limited to how many people are on there. I think,
But what I'm saying is if we can't see him, can they see
Is this the way it's supposed to be, Robert? Is that the way this screen's
Can
supposed to
you
be?
see him?
I can see you.
I can see you,
See?
because I'm looking at you,
Well, but I can see the video.
but I don't see you here.
No?
I only see
I see myself here.
We've only been seeing Robert.
Robert's the only one.
And once in a while, one of the other ones will pop in.
I think we can still proceed. We passed that one. We're on agenda number 8. Okay. I wanna make sure to see Robert is done.
What did Michael say?
We went back to
Yeah, but
me.
I don't see Michael. I hear him over there. I don't hear him here.
Why can't we hear him?
yeah, this is one of the jobs I came across.
Is he not straight? Oh.
Because Ms. Perez had the speakers. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you judge.
Okay, we're good. We're gonna proceed. Agenda item number 8, consider and approve a first amended resolution for Victims of Crime Act formula for Jim Wells and Brooks County's Victim Assistance Program grant 3876-202 presented by District Attorney Carlos Omar Garcia. I see him right in front of me.
Yeah.
Carlos, how are you?
He can,
hear.
how do we? Let me open that thing up.
We can't hear him.
There he is.
Oh, you can't hear him?
Wanna make,
Okay, try.
this is just amendment to the, original. It only had one sentence, which is the second, where it starts, where the Duval County Commissioners Court agrees to provide applicable matching that project is required by the office of the governor, criminal justice division grant application, and that's the only part been added. Everything else is exactly the same. That just came back from the governor's office that they wanted that language included. And once that's done, signed by everyone, I can upload it.
So this is a first amended resolution. It was an initial resolution which was.
Yes.
Mr. Garcia? Yes. Okay, so I'm trying to listen in and hear you in, and it's not working out too well. Oh, well. So what do we wanna do, commissioners, on this particular amended resolution?
Well, evidently he wants to,
Extended or amended, yeah? On this particular Victims Crime Act formula.
I think he wants to approve the resolution
Yeah.
for what it's worth.
Okay. Commissioner, you want? Okay, I move that we adopt this amendment request.
I'll second.
Second motion.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. I'm gonna read this.
We're gonna get better at it.
We'll get better at it, I guess. We're not so technically sophisticated, I guess. Robert, we have to work on this. Yes, sir. We've been at it for some time now, and we need to get this thing corrected because, This is not working out too well. First amended resolution submission of Victims of Crime Act formula grant number 3876202 for Jim Wells and Brooks County Victims Assistance Program. Whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court finds it in the best interest of the citizens of Jim Wells that the Victims of Crime Act formula grant for Jim Wells and Brooks County's Victims Assistance Program be operated for the October 1st, 2020, September 30th, 2020 term. And whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court agrees to provide applicable matching funds for the said project as required by the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division grant application, and whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of Office of Governor, Criminal Justice Division funds, said funds will be returned to the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division in full, whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court designates the 79th Judicial District Attorney as the grantee's authorized official, and the authorized official is hereby given the authority to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of Jim Wells County. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Jim Wells County Commissioners Court approves submission of the grant application for Victims of Crime Act formula grant for Jim Wells and Brooks County's Victim Assistance Program to the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division. Passed and approved on this day, March 27, 2020. Okay. Budget item number 9, discuss and consider budget amendment request from Justice of the Peace Precinct 1, Richard De Leon, to transfer $182.94 from line item 12-451-310, office supplies, to line item 12-451-575, furniture and fixtures. I move that we,
No, we trying to speak?
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing. I'm looking for a knowing comment.
No, is everything in order with this agenda item?
I don't see knowing here. Oh, I see knowing, okay.
I see
Okay,
him, but I can't hear him.
go ahead, knowing.
Okay, yes, I just wanted to say that I looked over the request, and everything is correct, everything is right. So I believe that the request can be granted if the Commissioner Court so chooses.
I make a motion to approve, Judge.
I'll second.
You any questions?
Well, you have him on there, can you ask him if he can come and give the report here at the courthouse? At
The auditor's report?
Yeah, the auditor's report.
No, can you hear me?
It's about 2 hours.
Yes, I can hear you.
Mr. Garcia's asking if you can come in and make the auditor's report in person.
Okay, I'll be
Because
right.
we're not gonna understand it.
Yeah, this
Okay, I'll be
audio.
right there. Is that about one?
It's still about, 2 hours away.
No hurry for it, but just to be sure. That's what he's requesting. Thank you, Mr. Llamas.
Okay, so, on this particular item, I think he said it's all good, so we have a motion and a second, correct?
Yes.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed, motion passes. Thank you, Commissioners. Let's see, agenda item number 10, consider an act on an amended interlocal agreement with the City of Alice for 2019-2020 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, Community Development Fund application. You have any questions?
This is part of the city now?
Yes. It's that, amended, it's an amended interlocal agreement. Did y'all go over that? Do y'all have any questions about
Do
it?
we have an attachment?
There should be an attachment there. The interlocal agreement, the amended one.
Is there a deadline on this?
Oh, Roxy's on the
There
line.
she is.
Can y'all hear me? This is
Yes.
Roxy with Forward.
Yes.
This is an interlocal that y'all executed back in January of 2019. And these are amendments, as requested by the Texas Department of Agriculture. Since the grant application was submitted under Jim Wells, as a joint application with the City of Alice, the state felt that, since the 3 streets that are being applied for, it's a wastewater project, which is San Felipe,
belongs to Jimos County is, we're gonna put sewer lines on San Felipe Street, they don't have sewer. And San Felipe, the north side is city and the south side of the street is county. So those people are gonna be getting, sewer lines.
Well, it reduces our match and it also reduces, like I said, the amount of
It's an in-kind.
in-kind. Most of our match is in-kind, right, that you're gonna be doing?
Like we'll be digging and carrying the ground and stuff like that. Flagging,
It's been approved by the city already.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They-
Mayor, it was
Mayor,
approved
want
by the
anything,
city,
sir?
yes.
She wanna add anything?
No, I don't think she's,
Does the mayor want to say anything?
no,
No, sir, it was approved by the city.
right, so it's just a standard amendment here, reduction.
I make a motion to approve the amendment.
Second motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed, motion passes. Thank you, ma'am. Number 11, consider an act on revised resolution authorizing submission of the 2019-2020 Texas Community Development Block Program, CDBG, Community Development Application.
This is also an item that has to do with the same grant application. We did have to, not only amend the interlocal, but revise the resolution stating the new match amount and the reduced grant fund.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Or do you wanna, do we have to read this resolution now? You wanna read?
Sure, fine,
Do you have a copy of it?
no,
Nope.
just hand it over to me.
Well, we have that amended. Thank you, Nora. You have a copy of it?
A resolution of Jimos County, Texas, authorizing the submission of a Texas Community Development Block Grant application to the Texas Department of Agriculture for the Community Development Fund, and authorizing the county judge to act as the executive officer and authorized representative in all matters pertaining to the participation in the Community Development Block Grant Program. Whereas Jimos County desires to develop a viable community, including decent housing and a suitable living environment, and expanding economic opportunities, principally for persons of low, moderate income. And whereas certain conditions exist within the community which represent a potential risk to the public health and safety. Whereas it is necessary and in the best interest of Jimos County to coordinate with its city of Alice on an application for funding under the 2019-20 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program. Now therefore be it resolved that a Texas Community Development Block Grant application in coordination with the city of Alice is hereby authorized to be filed with the Texas Department of Agriculture for funding consideration under the Community Development Fund. Then the city's application be placed into competition for funding under the Community Development Fund. That the application be for up to $300,000 of grant funds to carry out wastewater system improvements. That all funds be used in accordance with all applicable federal, state, local, and programmatic requirements, including but not limited to procurement, environmental review, labor standards, real property acquisition, and civil rights requirements. That minimum matching funds in the amount of $60,000 for Jimos County, $15,000, and City of Alice, $45,000 in cash and or in kind are committed toward application activities. That the county judge be designated as the chief executive officer and authorized representative to act in all matters in connection with the application and participation in the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, including execution of an interlocal agreement with the City of Alice regarding the authorized applicant for this application, professional administrative services, engineering services, construction, transfer, maintenance, and operation of the facilities constructed through this program, and the provision of service to households benefiting from this program.
Thank you. Commissioner? agenda item number 12. Presentation of Jim Wells County Constable Precinct 1 racial profiling report. I know they provided it.
I think they just sent a letter.
Yeah, they sent over the profiles, both constables, so I don't think they'll be doing a presentation today.
I don't think they're here to.
Do we have a report?
Are they on the camera?
All the constables here?
So we'll just go over that. And we'll allow them to do that on a further date, but they've already provided the report, so that's good enough for now. So we're gonna skip over basically 12 to 13. I don't know, do we have a motion to
It's a
take all those items?
presentation.
Is it-
No, they just
Presentation, so we're,
Presentation.
You don't have to.
yeah, just, agenda item number 14, consider and take action to modify or replace proclamation of March 20th, 2020, Jim Wells County Proclamation, number 2 with updated provisions. So what we're doing here today, we're amending this order and directive issued on the 27th of March. Commissioners, do we have anything that we would like to add or discuss in this particular disaster declaration that we've adopted?
So we're moving, from what we had before to shelter in place.
It's an upgrade, it's basically an additional modification to add, include shelter in place or order to stay home. Basically, it's a stay-at-home order. And it's basically
You have to avoid social gatherings and stuff.
continue to follow the recommendations that we had before, nothing more drastic other than stay home, practice those, policies or those procedures or those recommendations.
But we also changed, also that the non-essential businesses will be closed, right? It's on there.
Well, can you elaborate a little bit, like, is there something there that,
Well, I read.
all essential? Because everything is listed on the declaration there, there's a list of items, pretty thorough.
Really, essentially unessential, but
Recommendations that were adopted that are listed there, it's quite a few, but it doesn't change too much from the original, except the stay at home. The city of Alice, they adopted, their declaration yesterday afternoon, and it's consistent with what we're doing here today, and what, our regional other partners, Nueces County, Clayburgh County, and hopefully, I think that our other counties, our neighbors, are gonna be considering also certain action.
yeah, they're like, they're just following the guidelines from the state actually.
So there's just like a paragraph, right, where the changes are made, you wanna just read that part? It's not all the top, because the top just goes through,
Yeah, well, as far as the declaration, do you have a copy of it, or?
I don't.
Well, how do you know, or?
Nobody has one.
Huh?
We don't
Who's
have one.
reading
I can't see.
the portion of it? Because I was just gonna go back to reading this, I know you have questions, so I wanted to allow you all to discuss this. Here's a copy of this, Margie. I just wanted to make sure before I proceed, that we're all on the same page and that we all agree.
No, we agree.
That we agree. Okay, that's really what I need to know so we can proceed. And I'm gonna go ahead and read the first portion of the amended order dated March 27, 2020, order to stay home. And effective as of 11:59 p.m. on March 27, 2020, which is this evening, and continue until 11:59 on April 27, 2020. Remember, this can be at any time withdrawn if there's recommendations or anything improves. So this is just through the 27th, and any time before that, if there's any suggestions or recommendations, we can always withdraw or amend this particular order. And this is the most important part of it, number 1, section 8, all individuals currently living within the Jim Wells County are ordered to stay or to shelter at their place of residence. For purposes of this order, residents include homes, condominiums, townhomes, apartments, duplexes, hotels, motels, shared rentals, recreational vehicles, motorhomes, and similar facilities. To the extent individuals are using shared or outdoor spaces, they must at all times, as reasonable as possible, maintain social distance of at least 6 feet from any other person when they're outside the residence. All persons may leave their residence or enter or leave the territorial limits of this county for essential activities, or provide or perform essential governmental functions, or to operate essential businesses, all as defined in section number 2. So section number 2, that addresses Commissioner Gonzalez, which are the essential and non-essential businesses that are allowed under this declaration to continue to provide services and be open. So there's a lot to this order. It's listed. Mayor, did y'all go over every single little thing, or did y'all? We're gonna provide this on the website,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have it
And we're
posted.
doing a press conference after this meeting,
Yeah,
the judge
yeah.
and I, for any questions, but Ms. Margie, to answer your question, yes, ma'am, you're right, that it's non-essential businesses are closed. Which basically this declaration covers a whole lot of essential, businesses, but really, I guess you can look at boutiques, salons, vape shops, things like that are not considered essential according to this order. So, so those would be closed, but food, groceries, bank, insurance,
Like I said, we could go on and on. We
Yeah.
don't wanna miss anything.
it's a big
We're
one.
gonna try to cover as much as we can during the press conference. That's the purpose of that. Because, we have quite a few businesses in town, and a lot of them fall under different designations. So it's gonna be, and just to use practical sense and knowledge to determine it, we'll be able to do that. And I guess we'll have, where we can call the city of Alice to make any clarifications.
Yes,
As
sir.
far as in our rural areas of the county, we have a lot of ranchers and farmers, which this does not impede their work or anything else outside of that. But I think it's more specifically narrowed into specific, like the mayor mentioned. You can't get no haircuts, I don't think,
No.
none of that stuff, none of the nails, none of that good stuff, right?
I don't even know, I don't think so, neither can you get, your clothing.
No clothing, no
You can't even, the
dry
cleaners
cleaning?
will
The
not,
dry cleaners, yeah.
the cleaners is
And
not.
actually,
won't-
that's
they won't accept
covered
anyone.
in this declaration, that it could be, but I think they've chosen for the safety of their clients and their employees to shut that down. But laundry is covered in this declaration, considered essential, and so is, cleaning and sanitizing.
Washaterias and all that for
Yes.
people that need that
Yeah.
all the time.
So that is covered, that it's
I know
essential.
the livestock auction here, Mr. Eddie Garcia had some concerns and.
But it's listed as an essential.
He's an essential deal that he's closing doors for non-buyers and stuff like that. So
Right.
People need to be aware that it's not.
Okay, and of course, I'd just like to reiterate, the schools are complying with these orders, and so
Yes, sir.
therefore,
And they will put out a notice today, I spoke to the superintendent this morning, so they're gonna put out a notice, stating until further notice, and, cause they initially had the April 3rd date, so they're gonna change that with their
to
release.
comply with our order here
Yes,
that's
sir.
extended to the 27th.
Yes, sir,
because
because
they fall
the
under.
situation is just so unique and different and very fluid, so as the days go, it changes, so.
But we're doing just fine, Mayor. I
Yes,
think
sir.
that I'm
Thank you.
very proud and very,
I think the main thing is just, social gatherings.
yes.
I think that's where they're hitting you the
The most, yeah, and that's what we're trying to avoid. That's the idea, is to try to keep people from just, congregating on top of each other and around each other.
Yeah, just
And
don't
of
go
course
there,
the-
compadre, let's barbecue.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's it, basically it is.
Yes,
I think our green spaces, our parks are gonna be open still.
Yes,
We're
sir.
not gonna impede on that. That way, our citizens have a green area, a green space to go out and exercise and to, with their families, and not congregate, but to,
So you don't want a social gather at the park either,
right.
correct.
That's the
Right.
main thing.
And our law enforcement and our employees are doing a great job monitoring and observing. And so far, so good. We've done great.
Yes.
The
Yes,
county
sir.
of Jim Wells and the citizens of Dallas have done well, so we'll address that later. And hopefully we continue doing that, because it's very, it's a good thing to have everybody comply, and I'm very proud of that, to be saying that our residents and our citizens, especially our youth, are
Does it
complying.
address anything about avoiding traveling to Corpus?
It does not.
I didn't read anything.
For
about that.
essential
It
reasons,
doesn't-
we're allowing the travel for,
Yes.
but here again, the key word is essential. So if you're an essential worker, then yes, you can go to Corpus for your job. Have the letter with you if
You know,
you're
to the
crossing
doctors and
county
stuff like
lines.
that.
Yes, medicine, things like that. So the real point is, if your job is essential, then go to and from your job, go back home. If you need your groceries, your medicines, go get that, go back home. If you need to exercise, you're gonna walk the track, go back home.
Not
So-
to go shopping in Corpus.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly, and I believe La
Well, the retail stores should be closed.
Yes, most
Any
of
of
them
those
should.
retailers, most of them are closed.
Yes.
yeah. And going back to the schools, this falls under this declaration, the schools and any schools fall under, so they're already
Yes.
complying with the social distancing and congregation, so I think hopefully they'll extend that order.
And they will continue their food service in Alice, that will continue, because that's essential. So
And they've
that
been having,
over 1,000,
right.
plate or
And they go
meals.
there, I know, I think she said they had like 80 people pick up
Mhm.
and over 100 people in actually.
Anything else, commissioners, that we'd like to add to this particular?
Judge.
Yes.
You mentioned some kind of letter that you gotta have to go to work, let's say, base or
What's that?
a letter that they stop you.
From
Where
your
do you
employer?
get that? Where do you get that?
Well, from your employer, I guess whoever works for anybody, they can.
I'm recommending the employers to
Yeah.
create just a general letter, a letterhead with contact information
Right.
stating the essential part
Yeah.
of the job. And basically, if they get pulled over, they show this letter and there's contact information. If the officer seems to think, that it's not legit, then he'll do the proper, investigation.
Commissioner Gonzalez also brought that up about our employees, I think with their ID tags, that's enough, and any
Yes, sir.
supervisor, if they need to.
Like the place there.
But if I'm
But
correct,
governmental
I know
jobs
the
are
sheriff
exempt,
is here
correct?
with us.
Yes, sir.
So governmental
They just
jobs
can't
are
be pulled
exempt.
over for any reason though. Right,
Well,
Sheriff?
yes, but like, say for the weekend, you have somebody on call. You can,
But what I'm saying is that you just can't get pulled over because you're out and about.
Well, right now, under the
Yes, they are.
declaration, it's an
No,
emergency
no, you're not.
declaration.
Sheriff, are you there?
He's on
How
the
do I get to the
screen.
sheriff?
he's on the screen.
Can't hear you.
Sheriff,
We can't.
Can the sheriff
I can't
talk?
hear.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for chair.
But Commissioner, with all due respect, I believe it falls under the emergency declaration. So that's kind of, it's basically a curfew to stay home. The order is stay home. So basically, anybody can be pulled over because they should be at home, and that's where it falls into this emergency declaration. If the officer pulls you over, they're checking to make sure you are an essential, because our goal is to have people stay home. That's the order, stay home and stay safe.
That's the purpose of the curfew.
Yes, sir.
and just because they work for the county after 5 o'clock,
Yeah, but if
it has to be
there's a
that they're on
curfew,
call and they're
they don't
doing
know who you
something
are.
for the.
Yes, ma'am.
It is, and I'm gonna have, you have to admit it, we have to be, honest about this. This is complicated, it's difficult to adjust to, and our
Law
citizens.
enforcement will know what to do.
Right.
That's
Hopefully
what-
they'll use the sense and practical, logical decision making,
Right.
That's the biggest thing, and folks are adhering to it already, and they're complying with the curfew. So this, in addition to the curfew, this is the stay-at-home order. And of course, they're essential, whether it's groceries in the store,
Gas.
fuel, there we go. Looking after a loved one, an elderly person. We have children, remember, guy, we have children at home, and their needs are, we wanna try to see how this thing evolves, but to monitor and continue, keeping an eye and.
Commissioners, can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Juan, how are you?
This is Juan. Judge, Commissioners, this is Juan Acuña. I just want to, I've gotten a lot of, more like 20 to 40 emails about, social gatherings at residences. A lot of folks want to know if they can continue to meet with their family. Of course, my recommendation to them is to continue to, do the social distancing. I highly, don't recommend that they get together. But they want to know if if they get together at their residences, is that something that is not allowed? Will they get cited for something like that? So I just wanted to bring that attention to the board.
Okay, good,
Since
good.
the sheriff is online as well.
We've already tried to discourage that. I don't know how many more, we'll reemphasize that again. We'll reiterate that at the press conference for those folks that wanna continue barbecuing and gathering and all that. And those emails, Mr. Acuña, we've received them also as well, and I've been doing the best I can to respond and try to break it down as much as we have to. And then, of course, our law enforcement's doing a good job. If they spot or see something like that, they will, stop and visit and make sure that we can break up those congregations. Thank you, Juan. Anything else, commissioners? And
The
then-
sheriff was gonna say something.
Sheriff?
I just want to say that the orders in place for the city as well as for the county, and the citizens need to follow those orders. Our officers are going to be, they've got their obligations in routine patrolling different residential areas throughout the county, which is
Commissioners, do we have any questions for the sheriff? Commissioner Gonzalez, you had something for the sheriff already? No? Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Okay, so then, here we are, we've got this order, stay at home. Commissioner, do we have, do we wanna move on this?
I make a motion to
approve Judge's. Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor to
replace the proclamation of March 20.
and adopt this dated amended order. I have a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we'll make that available on our emergency management website and Jimos County, website. And then we'll make that available for anyone and any entity that wants to get a copy, we'll make that available at our office, county judge's office. Because it states specifically there all the different, criteria and recommendations. Consider approving county auditor's report. All right, yeah, we'll get it right.
Yeah, all of them should have a copy.
I don't have a copy.
Okay, you know what? I made them all, since I didn't come over here, I didn't bring them. You want me to go get them?
That's fine, that'd be good. That-
I can.
Okay, and you can pick one up at the office.
Okay,
Since I wasn't here this morning, I didn't.
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay, the sales tax, on the year-to-date, our, general fund, revenue year-to-date is 389,773.16, or at a 17.41% that we've collected through the year, which is right on point to where we're supposed to be at. All of the other commissioners, since everybody gets a percentage, everybody's at 17.41. And, say the year-to-date percentage that we collect in the way of sales tax is 17.41%. And, just wanna let y'all know, and I'm sure y'all are aware, so, for the year, 504,589.04, or a decrease for the first two. Budgeted for 16,720,523. At this time, for the first 2 months, we've collected 9,722,280.24, or at 58% of our revenue. On the next couple of pages, with your budget and what you've actually last year, but everybody should be at no more than 17. The general fund, our budget is 17,517,635.76, and we have spent 17% on the general fund. General fund and the R&Bs, along with everything else, the expenditures are 25,004,293. We have actually spent 4,155,4803, or at 17%, which we're supposed to be at 17%. So at this point, we're right where we're at the line. So the